would say that's almost like a little disco funk, isn't it? It's jazzy. It's an uptown jazz. Steve's got the uptown jazz. Uptown jazz. Riffing with Steve on the uptown jazz. So we set it off. Engineer Steve, we asked him for some jazz. So this is what's flanking on Steve's radar right now. We got to give him that love. And got to give you some love for being back in the stash. I'm your host, Jesse Avanias, co-founder of the Greenhouse Group, helping folks get into and out of homes. That's our trade, and moving those people with purpose. But in the stash live today, purpose-based, you betcha. Moving people, you got it. But in the small business realm, I'm flanked by one of our local best, talking, of course, to Joe Stumpf, owner, founder extraordinaire of ByReferralOnly.com for, about 30 years now, Joe?
Right on.
You said in the last segment. And probably existed as the inflection point for more real estate professionals, small business professionals, to be sure, and even other coaches, man. I mean, you've been like the godfather of like a lot of the springboard guys that are trying to do their thing right now, too, underneath you. And the conversation today is one I think that's probably more germane to all of the work you've done in your entire career, and that is the concept of referral. Mm-hmm. And it's someone that everybody loves to purport, right? You look on anybody's business card, I heart referrals, right? It doesn't matter if you're a restaurant, right, to your, like we talked about earlier, if you're in real estate, like it's kind of been the bulk of your of coaching clientele. But in that capacity, though, we set it up last segment about the one mistake that you believe everybody is making across all boards right now. So if you're tuning in right now, here's your big opportunity. Here's your big high five for listening to a man live in the studio. He's about to tell you what the biggest mistake is that all small business owners are making right now. Joe, what would you say in all of your experience that is?
Okay, tell you in a story.
Yeah.
All right. Young lady comes to me and she says, I'm not getting enough referrals. And I say, well, let's see if we can make that better. And she says, I said,
was this one of your many Starbucks encounters? And by the way, if you ever go into a Starbucks in Encinitas, you might actually
get a little coaching.
It's happened before. Please continue.
And so all I was really wanted to know is that what did she think? Was supposed to be happening? Like, what was her? She was reporting the
almost
outcome. like you're saying to me is like everyone thinks they have a referral business, and they say, well, I'm not getting enough referrals. And I said to her, well, what gets a good referral? And she says, well, if you give great service. And I said, oh, then that's the problem. You're not giving great service. She goes, oh, I beg your pardon. I give amazing service. And then that's the paradox. I give amazing service and I'm not getting referrals. And I go, well, to get referrals, you got to give amazing service. Well, I'm giving amazing. You see the paradox there? And I said, I'll bet you are giving amazing service, but I'll bet you in a lot of cases people don't even know that them introducing and referring people to you is even important to you.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you've ever even suggested that until at the very end you might have said to the people, oh, by the way, if you happen to know of anybody that could use my help, would you go ahead and just send them my way? And people with all the best intentions would say, oh, yeah, of course I would. And what I know through 30 years of research is the possibilities of somebody introducing someone to you is about 100% greater while they're experiencing your services than after the services are over. So while somebody's buying a house or selling a house, the chances of them introducing you to somebody is 100% greater during the process than after the process. While you're getting your car fixed, if you're shopping for insurance, if you're having the restaurant experience, while you're in the process, that's when you start to notice other people who could use that help. And I think that that's the biggest mistake people make is they think that the afterthought of referrals is going to build their business as opposed to a very organized, very deliberate process from the moment you meet the client until the time the initial transaction is complete. Boom.
Well, boom, yeah. You get a point for that, brother. And what's also true is that you need a skill set that is commiserate with being able to ask, or you will never have the confidence to do so in the first place. Right. And I believe that everybody who, given that same story and that girl that you were talking about as an example, she probably wants to ask during the process, but doesn't feel confident enough until the service is actually completed. Right. The services have been rendered, so to speak, right? To where be like, okay, finally I can hang my hat. Scoreboard. I can hang my hat on the fact that we did what we said we're going to come do, right? Okay, good. Now I feel confident to ask for a referral. So then what's the difference between, let's just call that the average cat, okay, and again, on any multitude of businesses, any platform, and then the one who can really say that they have a business that is run by referral only, who's asking dynamic throughout the process?
Yeah. Well, make the distinction that there's probably only one or two specific ways to ask for a referral.
Okay.
But you would never even use those dialogues or those scripts or those methods until it has been really seeded very well from the very beginning. So the distinction is that you become masterful at planting referral seeds.
Okay, so say that in a different way.
Well, if you want to grow something, you have to plant a seed, and then you have to water it, you have to nurture it, you have to take care of it, sunshine, fertilizer, and then when the day comes, you harvest. Harvest is asking.
Okay.
Everything has to happen before you harvest. So if I was going to plant a seed, I might say to you when we first sit down and say, hey, Jesse, appreciate you getting together with me. The lifeblood of my business is referrals and introductions. I just want to let you know right off the bat that I want to offer you the level of help that you would just absolutely be delighted to tell a friend or family member about. So let's get started.
Yeah.
So
they're going to nod their head because that's what they would expect someone to say. So that's still if they had the gall to do so, if they had the confidence to do so. Right. But still, technically, that's along the mean average. But then the person that is operating by referral is doing it in a little bit subtler of a different way. Are they not? Are they not kind of unlocking the keys to the recipient's brain, opening up different pathways that they're gonna then, as you said, harvest from later?
Right. Well, there's maybe 8 to 10 really great little hypnotic suggestions that you could make.
Okay, good. So we're getting into the weeds right now. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So when I use, specific neurolinguistics, like specific technique that I want to embed a command or make a suggestion that would stick, I would find ways to do that. So
in neurolinguistics are just like a way that you say things. Is that true?
Well, neuro, the brain, language,
okay.
the medium in which you're delivering your message, and programming is the way that the brain processes it.
Okay.
So we all have to process things, and so what you want to do is you want to speak to the part of the brain that listens to that. Like neurolinguistics is me addressing the conversation you're having going on in your mind right now without having a conversation.
That's
so if I was to sit with you...
Wow, that's interesting. The conversation's going on in my mind that we're not even having.
Right now. Yeah. Because right now, as we sit across the table from each other, there's a lot of things that you're thinking about that make a lot of sense. And they'll make even more sense if you listen a little more intently. So what I... suggesting is that when you sit with a client, even if you say the subtlest little things like, and this is like a little 6-word pattern interrupt type of statement, you say, one of the intentions is that we offer you the level of kind of help that you just promise never to keep us a secret. Like never to keep us, or please don't keep me a secret. The one thing I'd ask you is please don't keep me a secret. Now that's like so simple, but the words please don't keep me a secret go right into the unconscious mind, and very hard for a person to hear that without having an interruption in their pattern. So if I just say to you, hey, Jess, don't keep me a secret, what's your first reaction?
Well, what comes up for me is the word secret is kind of a special little word, and it kind of grabs my attention.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to disagree with it. Maybe I'm like, yeah, of course I won't keep you a secret.
Yeah, and that's the opening. So if I say to somebody, "Don't keep me a secret," please don't keep me a secret. Whatever you do, don't keep me a secret.
Okay.
Hey, when you're out there, you're going to see people who could use my help. Don't keep me a secret. See all these different ways.
Now, how is that different from just saying, "Hey, if you know anybody, can you give me a referral?"
Well, the word referral is a wonderful word. I love the word. It's a great name for a company, By Referral Only. But as a way that the brain processes, there's really no picture for it. There's like if I say the word referral, you don't really have an action around it. A better word might be as introduction, or introduce me. So it just try for all of our listeners. Next time you're with a client, just say to them, just casually say, "Hey, please don't keep me a secret." And what happens is the word "don't" it's a reversing word. I mean, it's the word that most kids hear before the age of 4, 10,000 times. Don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And the natural response the brain has to don't is, I don't. Don't do that. I'm not. don't hit your sister. I didn't. You know, that reverse happens almost instantly. And then secret is that implosion word that goes into the brain and goes, whoa, what's the secret? You know, it's a very powerful. There's 7 words in the English language that have the power of secret. And that's why it's on the cover of a lot of magazines, is like the secrets are revealed. The number 1 selling book that, it's taught the attraction principles, but it was called The Secret. Just the title alone did it. So, you know, when I say secret, you want to say, well, what are you talking about, secret? And it pulls me in. And so if I said to you, please don't keep me a secret, and you said, no, I tell everybody about you, Joe, I'd say, well, thank you. The next time you're in a conversation with somebody who could use my help, please just take out your cell phone, look at my number, call me right away, and let me know how I can help them out. And so it leads nicely to that. And that's a nice little dialogue, too, if you want to. Next time you're in a conversation, that's future pacing. Hey, next time, Jesse, you're in an actual conversation with somebody that you care about.
Future pacing meaning it's like telling them what to do before it happens.
Yeah, and I'm saying to you that it's going to happen. There's going to be a next time that you're going to be in a conversation with someone that you care about. And if they mention that they want to buy a house or sell their home, all you need to do is take out your cell phone, that's kinesthetic, look up my number, that's visual, and give me a call. That's auditory. So it's a command. You give people very specific instructions on what to do, how to do it, visually, audibly, and kinesthetically. And it becomes, that's what mastery is. Mastery is being able to dance with that language, you know, consistently, like always looking for opportunities to plant a seed, to ask in an intelligent, articulate way, but set behind the context of, hey, I'm delivering to you an extraordinary experience that is worthy of you introducing me to the people that you care about.
Wow, Joe. That was incredible. I almost feel like I just need to wash that. It's like there was so much that just happened right there in that last little thing. So if you'll allow me, what came up for me was the concept of feedback, though. Right? So, like, go back to your example of that girl that you were trying to give the coaching to. In her mind, she had a story that she was telling herself, and had been probably for a long time, that she gave great service.
Right.
And how would she know if that wasn't true? Right? So, like, I would say that one of the things that would have to precipitate that would be confirmation from the person that they actually did appreciate your service first.
Right.
You know, otherwise you're just going to sound like a ridiculous talking head, self-serving even perhaps. Like, oh, I think I did a great job for you, and I'm just going to assume that. And so who's the next person you want to do? And then the recipient's mind, they may be like, I'm not introducing you to anybody.
Well, you know, there's a saying we have around our office, the chatter don't matter unless you got the data.
You get another point for that one.
You know, okay, so I great service. Well, what are you measuring that by?
Right.
You know, 75% of my business comes to me through referrals. Good. I would agree.
That's a nice round number.
You know, I would agree that you probably have agreement from your clients to give great service. But she came to me in the context is, I'm not getting any referrals. That's her context. And so when she says that, you know, well, I'm not debating your service, although if you look really carefully what people consider to be great service versus what we call as a by referral only standard. I mean, a standard, this is Jesse's standard. If you set up an appointment to come visit Jesse, you will receive an email within, you know, a half hour after your initial call where he is sending you driving instructions exactly like as if he's sitting next to you in the car with the video showing you off-ramp to get exactly where to find his building. That's extraordinary because that's the latent need. A person says, okay, I'm getting in my car, I'm going to Jesse's office, and they got their Google map out and they're trying to figure out. And Jesse says, no, I'm taking it up another level, and I'm gonna sit next to you while we drive into the office. That's extraordinary service. You know, she may have sent an email with a link to Google and called that extraordinary service. Now, which one is referable? You know, which one is the experience people go, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. You I've heard you use the word raving fan before. Yeah. It's like you get what you pay for, or where your expectations exceeded. And that's where somebody wants to be ravenous about making sure that all their friends and family and coworkers have that same experience.
Yeah.
That, my friend, you could also say is the cousin to mastery. And that's kind of really what you're saying in a lot of words. If you sort of distilled it down, you held it up. It's a form of mastery. It's a willingness to be able to say, here's where I am, there's where I want to be. The difference is the work I put in on mastering my craft.
Right.
And coming up, something tells me we're going to get into that a little bit with my man Joe Stumpf. Specifically, I feel like 2 words are going to come up in the next segment. Coming up right after this break, you're going to get caught up with sports, all that good stuff, ESPN style. And then we're going to be talking about conquering, and we're going to talk about breakthroughs. And you're not going to want to miss this. We'll be right back.
The San Diego Financial